Okay, this is just going to be a short video about shaping the bread. I'm Matt, welcome to my YouTube channel. Now I'm just throwing a little flour on the top here. This way when I turn it out, it's going to land on the top. And the flour will be down and it won't stick. And we're going to flour just this half of the bacon mat, not the other half. Don't get flour over there. You'll find out why later. And we're just going to take our bowl scraper, tip it up, and as gently as we can, we're going to tip this dough right on out of my baker's mat. There you go. Bowl's pretty clean. I'll set this over the sink. Okay, put a little flour on my hands. And just sort of even out the dough, make it a little rounder so it's easier to get it cut mostly in half. Put a little flour down the middle, smooth it out a little bit. Take your bench scraper, just check to make sure where you intend on cutting is right in the middle, right about here. Cut it in half. All right. We're making batards, so this is actually the pre-shape. So we're just going to fold the dough into the center. And just gather it gently. Turn it over onto the dry side. Now the sticky part of the dough is down and this is not sticky. Now, you're just going to take your hands and gently pull it back towards you. Turn it a little bit back. And what I'm actually doing here is this side is rolling under the dough. And because this mat is dry on this side and the dough is sticky on the underneath, it pulls it. And I don't know if you can see it, but there's little bubbles starting to come up. And the bubbles will come up a little bit. Okay. Well, this is just a pre-shape. I'm not going to do this too much. If I was making a bowl around, the next thing I would do is go like this and spin it as I did kind of the same under and over motion and spin it. That would close up the bottom, but we're not going to do that because we're making a batard. This is just a pre-shape. Set it here. Same thing here, just kind of, it comes out kind of oval. So the two ends I flop in and just gather the sides up in. Okay, and just gather it. Flip it over. Again, it's sticky on a dry mat. Just pull it. And eventually, it gets sticky on the sides. You can see it sticking to my fingers. But as you turn and pull, eventually this part rolls down and underneath. And you end up that it's not sticky on the top. And again, we're not going to work it too much. This is just a pre-shape. We're making them into two bowls or rounds. A little bit of flour on the top. Spread it out. Now, you let them sit for just a couple minutes. So what I'm going to do is I'll pause the video. I want to clean up the bowl that it came in the bench scraper. Then we'll come back and shape these into the batards or the ovals. And if you see little blisters like this, you can just go ahead and pop them like that. All right, so we'll be back in a couple minutes. Okay, so we're back. My bowl is clean now. It's only been 3-4 minutes. Put a little flour on my hands. And we're gonna get a little flour into the proof basket. Not too much, just a dusting. All right. That's about it. Okay. So now, again, this is sourdough. This isn't like one of your enriched doughs where you have milk and eggs and stuff. So there's no punch down this. We're actually trying to be gentle and not deflate this dough too much. Pick it up and flip it over. Now it's tacky here. Underneath I spread the flour. It's not. You want to just flatten it out a little bit. But like I said, we're not punching it down. We're just kind of spreading the circle a little bit. And I take one ear down, and it makes this saddle. Roll this over, and then you're just going to take your fingers and just seal the seam right like this. And you're coming over about 2/3 of the dough. turn it. Now hopefully maybe you can see I only came over 2/3. Now I'm going to take this ear and down, this ear and down. You get the saddle over. Now I took it all the way over. I'm setting the seam. Then you take your hands, just roll it over. Pick it up a little bit. Then we're going to do the same motion that we did when we were doing it before. So you're rolling it on itself. Okay, now this is a little bit bigger. So what I do is I flop that end down, pick it up again, pull it back to me, turn it, pull it back to me. Little flour on my hand. Pick it up. A little bit of flour on the top. Over into the basket. Just position it in there. And then, I don't know if you can see, there's a little bit junky looking. So now what I do is I take my finger, I push down a little bit, and I seal the seam. And you're just pinching the dough, not too much because it will stick to your fingers if you try and handle it too much. All you're doing is just making it look tidy. And now maybe you can see the difference. It looks nice and tidy. The little folds here and here are gone. And the seam's almost gone. In the morning, you won't even notice there's a seam there. All right, cover it. This one's ready for the fridge. Now, it's not as crucial that you don't have any flour on this second, because there's flour here anyway. Take it, fold it over, turn it over. Flatten it out just a little bit, not being too rough with it. One ear down, saddle, 2/3 over. You can see the bubbles coming up. 1/3, 1/3. Bring the saddle over. Now I'm going to seal the seam here. Roll it over. A little bit of, then you just take the two little ends, flip them under about an inch, inch and a half. Roll it back to you. Roll it back to you. Nice little shape. I put the flour on my hand because when you get it underneath, my hand is on the sticky part now. And you get a little flour on top so it doesn't stick too much to your Batard liner. This is called a Batard proofing basket. And then the same thing, just push down with your index finger a little bit and pinch the dough. And you're not pushing all the way down. You're only pushing a little bit, and I'd say maybe to your first joint of your finger there as far as you're going. Maybe not even that much. Just enough to pull the sides in tight a little bit. Okay? A little bit of flour. Spread it around. Cover it. Now these are ready to go in the fridge overnight for the cold proofing. Okay? Right now it's about 6:45 in the evening time. And I'll probably get up at 6 a.m. and I'll preheat my Dutch ovens in the oven. So by the time I get these into the oven, it'll probably be 7 o'clock, about 12 hours of cold proofing. And that's plenty. And then you don't have to bake these right at 12 hours. You can wait till the evening. You can wait till a day later or even 2 days later. I've heard of people doing it 3 and 4 days later. But these two are going to be baked in the morning. All right, now I just got to clean up and get these in the fridge.